What if all the oceans on Earth dried up? No more waves crashing on shores, no tides, no fish, no coral reefs, just miles of empty, cracked seabed stretching across the globe. It starts slow. Maybe climate change spirals out of control, or maybe a massive solar flare superheats the atmosphere. The oceans begin to evaporate, not just the surface, all of it. Over time, Earth loses every drop of its salt, and suddenly, the planet looks alien. The Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Arctic, and Southern Ocean. Instead, vast basins of dry, exposed seafloor spread out like scars. The once mighty Mariana Trench becomes the deepest canyon in the world. The mid-ocean ridges rise like underwater mountain chains turned landmass. But the consequences go far beyond the landscape. First, the weather collapses. Oceans regulate Earth's temperature. Without them, the planet swings between extremes. The equator becomes an oven. The poles turn colder than ever. Deserts spread across continents. Forests wither. Rain becomes rare. Monsoons stop. Hurricanes vanish, but so does the rain they once delivered. Now imagine the food chain. Nearly all marine life dies out. Whales, sharks, fish, plankton. Gone. 2/3 of Earth's oxygen comes from oceanic fight. Without them, oxygen levels drop. Breathing becomes harder. The sky doesn't look as blue anymore, but it gets worse. Millions of people living in coastal cities now face disaster not from flooding, but from economic collapse. Ports are useless. Trade halts. Fishing industries vanish overnight. Salt from the dried oceans kicks up into the air, corroding buildings, poisoning crops, and contaminating freshwater supplies. And then, there's the weight. Oceans make up about 0.02% of Earth's mass, but that's still over a billion cubic kilometers of water. With that weight gone, tectonic plates shift. Earthquakes spike. Volcanic activity increases. Pressure imbalances reshape the crust. Some continents might even rise. Slightly others could sink. Global politics begin to unravel. Water becomes the most valuable resource on the planet. Wars break out over rivers, lakes, and underground aquifers. Entire populations migrate in desperation, seeking the last wet corners of Earth. And if you're wondering whether we could survive, maybe for a while, with enough technology, we could recycle water, live in domes, or tap into frozen glaciers. But with no oceans to stabilize Earth's climate or provide long-term moisture, civilization would become a game of survival, not progress. Even space missions slowed down. Rockets rely on sea launches. Without oceans, the physics change. Costs rise. Our dream of exploring other worlds becomes harder just as our own becomes less habitable. So how did this happen? Maybe it's natural. Maybe it's our fault. Or maybe it was a warning, because even today, ocean levels are changing. Not from drying up, but from melting ice. The reverse problem. Flooding, not drought, but it all leads to the same truth. The oceans are Earth's life support system. Without them, we don't just lose water, we lose balance, we lose stability, we lose home. So, what if the oceans dried up? We'd inherit a planet that looks more like Mars than Earth. A ghost world, silent, dry, and desperate. A mirror of what happens when we stop taking care of the things we depend on. Because sometimes, it's not fire or explosions that end a world. Sometimes, it's the silence that comes after the last wave.